Welcome back. You're still watching The Globe. Let's take a look at some sports stories now. A new 24-club Super League that aims to revolutionise African soccer has been launched. The Confederation of African Football President Patrice Motsepe launched the competition, even as his organisation has reported a loss of nearly $50 million last year. Motsepe says that the new league would offer prize money of $100 million, over 5 times more than Africa's current Champions League. Each club in the inaugural season of the cross-continent competition would receive $2.5 million each to help fund their preparations and participation. The competition is scheduled to begin in 2023 and has the backing of FIFA, unlike Europe's doomed Super League club project last year. Motsepe offered no concrete details of where the money to fund Africa's new league would come from, with CAF in financial difficulties. Well, for a little bit more on this, we're now joined via Zoom by Cameroon soccer analyst Francis Ajumane. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, and good evening, and welcome to Cameroon.
All right, so this sounds exciting, but most of us don't quite know what it is and how it will work. What do you understand will be the African Super League? Is it like the Champions League, but a different format?
No, from what I understand and from sources I've been speaking to at the Confederation of African Football, it is more of a closed competition for Africa's top sides that will compete, and it's more of a Super League, not even the African Champions League, that is will beam the spotlight on African football. Even though CAF is not coming out clear on how they will go about it, it's they're trying to generate more revenue and attract more interest on African football. It's to make African football more attractive. That is why the for the inaugural tournament next year, it will bring together most of the top teams in its top-ranked 16 nations on across the continent, and without more than 3 teams per country. But for the moment, it's not yet clear how CAF is going to decide for the teams. But as we know, we are not getting any negative vibes from a member state for the moment, apart from South Africa, where we've had the players' union has opposed. But speaking to some federation presidents recently, it's a welcome development if he has to bring in more money.
All right, so the challenge straight away is going to be the amount of football that the top teams will play, because I'm assuming that they will continue playing in their home leagues as well as the Super League.
Yeah, there will have to be a way. CAF will have to find a way to put the burden on these players, because that's equally one of the main problems that has been raised. The burden on the players, how the number of matches they are going to play, will it put them at a disadvantage to their opponents, especially in the local leagues? But the biggest problem here that many are failing to see is the gap that even CAF is failing to see, is the gap that might create between the stronger nations and the so-called stronger nations and the weaker nations. Because the Super League, the fear is the Super League might come might reinforce the strength of clubs like Al Ahly, and then clubs in the other lower ranked leagues will remain down the bottom. So that's the biggest fear, rather than the congestion of matches. The biggest fear would be that gap that it will create between the top sides on the continent and the lowly ranked sides.
Because these big sides will have extra revenue streams that the lower ranked teams won't have. So the question now becomes, the Super League that was being mooted in Europe was closed, and you couldn't get promoted or relegated. Once you were in, you're in. What do we know about the African Super League?
For the moment, as I said earlier, it's not yet clear how promotion and demotion will be done in the Super League. The last time the CAF president talked about it, he said they were still working on modalities to see how other teams could join or how other teams could be relegated. And as I said, the idea is something, it's not yet really been criticized or really been analyzed across Africa, but it has to be worked upon again and developed to see that the margin between top teams and lowly ranked teams in the continent does not widen. And that is why CAF is trying to say part of the income that the Super League will generate, CAF is looking at sharing it amongst the 54 member states or the 54 federations. But that's not the solution. And many or some already see it flopping even before it starts.
Where is the money going to come from? I mean, the European leagues, they've got £1 billion, $1 billion television rights that they can sell. Public broadcasters across the continent just cannot afford. Are they suggesting that European channels, American channels, and other country channels, continental channels, will buy rights to watch the African Super League? Because I don't know where the money will come from in Africa.
One of the major, when Patrice Motsepe took over from CAF, one of the major aspects he has been hitting on, is to generate more funds for African football. I think as the path he has clearly taken and has been working on. For the moment, he's not stated clearly how he's going to generate money with the CAF Super League, but we can suggest that if he's heavily backed by FIFA, then I think he's looking to penetrate into the European market and get broadcasters from as well as partners abroad to see how they can sponsor and finance the Africa Super League. I am not sure the continent is backing Gianni Infantino as they back Gianni Infantino today at the CAF General Assembly for nothing. I think it's an exchange of something.
All right. I mean, this is a very optimistic project, and we certainly wish them luck. The other question then becomes, won't a Super League devalue the Champions League if it goes ahead?
That is the big question, which many have been asking, and that is what CAF still has to. The belief is CAF has not yet fine-tuned the CAF Super Leagues. That's why they are pushing it to August 2023 to see how they can work around it and see how the competition can go side by side with the CAF Champions League. Don't forget that when CAF launched the CHAN for local players years ago, that was the worry. But we saw the effervescence. We've seen the effervescence around the CHAN in the past years. It's just a matter of planning the competition very well and not clashing with the Champions League or the Confederation Cup.
All right. My brother, thank you very, very much indeed for joining us. Your thoughts greatly appreciated. Let's see where this goes. Maybe we'll be watching a match together in Cairo or in Yaoundé in the Super League.
Thanks very much.
All right, thank you. All right, that's our analyst there, Francis Ajumane, who is speaking to us from Cameroon in Yaoundé about this proposed African Super League. It's going to be very interesting if it kicks off. What will it mean for the Champions League? What will it mean for the teams that don't participate in the home leagues? And what will it mean for the teams that are going to be playing home matches, CAF matches, and African Super League matches? It's a lot of football. Stay with us. You're watching The Globe.